Hey everybody. What's it been? A couple of months. I am sorry that I haven't been around on my YouTube channel. Um, I've missed it. Uh, to start something that had a lot of promise, like my YouTube channel, and doing a video a week, which I wanted to do, and then having real life kind of intrude. I don't really want to say get in the way, but things in life kind of happened. For those of you that don't know, in August, I started a job at a local bowling alley, working as a front desk person. And if you've ever been to a bowling alley, you know what it is that we do. We set up the lanes for you. We give you your shoes. We deal with all the league stuff. We answer the phone, clean the counters. There's a lot of bits and pieces that come with the job. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And it's taken quite the toll on me physically. It's been a very difficult 6 weeks, to be sure. But I'm still here, and I wanted to take some time to shoot a video to let you know what's been going on and where I'm going from here. First of all, I'm really excited. Yesterday, which would be September 30th, my buddy Sam on Twitter, he's at Sam the Samurai. He brought me a Sega CD, which I have been dying to have since I got my Genesis for my 40th birthday back in 2012. And the game that came with it, big surprise, and this is for my buddy Halfbit, retrospective perspective, Sewer Shark. I am not going to be playing Sewer Shark tonight or probably over the next few days, but it's really cool to have it because I never owned it. When I had my Sega CD back in the 90s, I got it used and it didn't come with any games. So I wound up having to get games for it, and I had games like Tomcat Alley, Rebel Assault, NBA Jam, NHL 94. I never had Sewer Shark, but I have it now. I'm hoping to make some time to play it, but I'm very excited to have a Sega CD again. Now you're probably thinking, are you nuts? Has your job completely killed your brain? And the honest answer is no. I'm actually a Sega CD fan, and the reason for it is because I'm a big FMV game or full motion video game fan. I'm talking not just games like Dragon's Lair and Space Age, but games like Rebel Assault, games like Revenge of the Ninja, which is a game that I'm really, really, really hoping I can find. Tomcat Alley is another one. Ground Zero Texas. All of these really cheesy games with the cheesy acting or the cheesy cartoons are right up my alley. I know that they're not the deepest games. I know that it's basically a memorization exercise, and once you know what buttons to press and what the sequences are, the games are pretty cake to play through. But sometimes it's fun just to kind of sit and play through them, see what you remember after a while. And for me, when I'm talking about full motion video games, you have to understand that they're still a big deal to me because I remember what life was like before we had them. Before we had them, everything was very pixelated. You had to use your imagination a lot. There were only so many things that programmers could do with hardware at the time. So when we were able to put things on Laserdisc or on CD, and we were actually able to have full motion video, either live action or cartoons, with legitimate graphics that you would see in a movie theater or on a TV screen, it was mind blowing and still is for me because, again, I remember where I came from. And those games, for me, are mini signposts, if you will. Revenge of the Ninja, for example, is a Dragon's Lair clone. Ninja Hayate, if memory serves me right, was the arcade game. And it's basically just playing as the role of the ninja trying to rescue the princess, and you have to battle enemies and avoid obstacles along the way. But the thing that really sticks out to me about that game are the death sequences and the many different ways that Ninja Hayate winds up dying in the game, and the incredibly funny faces that he makes. It's hard not to laugh, even though it's the end of his life. As bad as that sounds, it's just kind of how it is. I was also a big fan of Rebel Assault, still am. Granted, the video quality on the Sega CD isn't as good as the PC or the 3DO versions, but the Sega CD version was the version that I had first. And when I'm talking about older game consoles, when I'm talking about the Genesis, the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Sega CD, a lot of that doesn't revert back to, oh, the graphics blew me away, oh, the sound blew me away. A lot of it's revisiting time, those particular times in my life. And excuse me, with the Sega CD, that was during '94 for the most part. In that particular time of my life, I had just come off of working for the phone company. I had just been laid off. I was working as a long distance operator. Life was a bit challenging then, and it just so happened that my Super Nintendo and my Sega Genesis and Sega CD really stepped up and kind of helped me weather the crappy times that life was dealing me in that particular period. So that's why it was a big deal for me. And again, looking here at Sewer Shark, um, I just memories come flooding back, and I didn't even have the game. I remember seeing it in a independent video game store, and I'm like, oh wow, this is really cool. And then of course, seeing the Angry Video Game Nerd, seeing James Rolfe cover it, and then seeing Half Bit cover it over at Retrospective Perspective. I knew that this was a game that I had to have at some point and eventually play through, or at least try to, without blowing a gasket. So that's one piece of news that's pretty significant. The other one, and again, it's significant to me. I know some folks poke fun at me for being a bit of a hoarder, but my retro library, which is something that I consider to be from the NES all the way up through the PlayStation 2 and GameCube, so basically two generations past. Now numbers over 900. I actually crossed that mark tonight. I went to a local GameStop to take advantage of their two games for $10 deal, which I cleaned up on for PS3. But there were some PS2 games there that I got. RC Pro Revenge, I believe, by Acclaim, which I'd always wanted to play the PlayStation game and I never did. Watch this game suck, but it only cost me $1.50. Kinetica was another one. Always been interested in it, but never played it. Now I have it. I can play it at my leisure. True Crime, Streets of LA, your basic Grand Theft Auto clone. I know that I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto fan, but I saw it and I figured why not? It was $3. And there was one other game that escapes me, but anyway, that carried me over the 900 threshold. In that entire library, I'm now at 903, and hopefully climbing because I'm hoping to get some Sega CD games in the next week or two. I'm hoping to hit the Game Depot in Holyoke, Mass. I know they have some Sega CD games there, and I'm hoping to cash in and and to find some there. So that's the second piece of news that I wanted to pass along. As far as writing goes, I have updated Consolation a bit in the last week to 10 days. I did put together a couple of retail reviews, so if you're in the Western Massachusetts area, in the greater Springfield area specifically, and you're a game chaser or a retro gaming fan like myself, you might find those interesting. Is when I review the independent gaming stores that I visit, I'm coming from the viewpoint of a retro game hunter like myself. So if you're like me, you'll probably find something in those reviews that may be interesting to you. If you're more into modern gaming, maybe not so much, but you can still check them out anyway, and hopefully you'll like them. So what happens now? I really can't promise anything. I don't know what's going to be happening with the job at this point. I did get some pretty interesting information from the college I was supposed to go to this fall. My financial aid had fallen through. I thought that I was going to have to wait a year to go back to school, but then I got a financial aid award letter after my classes were dropped for the fall. So if I have a chance to go back in the spring, then my job at the bowling alley will probably be going away, so I can focus full time on school and keep my grades up. And that will allow me more time to put some videos together, to do some more writing, and to stay more involved in the retro community, which is something that I really want to do. So that's basically where I'm at. Um, Really, it's been difficult for me because I miss doing things like this. I miss doing the writing. I miss being on Twitter a lot and talking games with everybody. I miss chatting about sales analysis with folks. I miss um, just chatting about issues in general. I just simply don't have the time of my life right now. And the thing that's been exceptionally difficult for me is that after being unemployed for 20 months and kind of being in a holding pattern, or really not doing anything, kind of spinning my wheels. I was going to school, but I still had a lot of free time on the side. That's kind of gone away. The job that I'm working now, for me anyway, is pretty physically intensive. I'm on my feet 4, 5, 6 hours at a time, and my body just doesn't like it at all. So by the time I get done at the bowling alley and I get home, I'm pretty much wiped out. The only days that I have open that I have some extra energy are Tuesdays, usually like today, when I usually do my game chasing, and then Thursdays, because I kind of have an easier schedule at that time of the week. Thursday is my day off in between two late shifts on Wednesday and Friday, so I get to sleep in a bit. But it's been a difficult transition. I'm hoping that it gets easier in the coming weeks, although my hours are slated to pick up as well as we're starting some additional functions at the bowling alley that require my time. So I just have to see what happens. I really don't know. I can't promise anything. Um, but hopefully by shooting this video, I'm reminding you guys that I'm still here. I haven't left. My interest hasn't left. I still have a lot that I can talk about, a lot that I can share with you guys, a lot of perspective stuff that I want to get in front of the camera and talk about. I just simply haven't had the time or the energy over the last 6 weeks or so, and that's kind of where I stand. So I hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from. I hope that those of you that have subscribed will stick around. I'll try and get more videos out regularly when I can. And those of you who are watching me for the first time, I hope that you'll go back and take a look at the work that I put together before tonight's piece. As I did have an okay start to my little library of videos there. Am I going to get any game capture hardware? No. I'm not going to be sinking a bunch of money into making videos. As much as I like doing this and getting in front of the camera impromptu like this, the written word is what I've always been best at doing. And if I'm going to be applying a lot of free time into doing anything video game related, it's going to be written, whether it's going to be social media, whether it's going to be via the Consolation blog, whether it's going to be submitting stuff through Retroware. I really don't know yet, but it's going to be written first with videos kind of supplemental. And that's okay because there are a ton of great video talent and personalities out there that you guys should be watching in addition to myself. And I'd rather not have my stuff kind of interfere and cross paths with what they do. Guys like the Game Chasers, talent like Joe Walker in the Backlog, or Retrophile TV, or Pushing Up Roses, or the Gaming Historian, or Pat the NES Punk, or James Rolfe, or Half Bit over at Retrospective Perspective. I mean, I can go on and on and on. JonTron Show, who I am thrilled that he's back. I found out about him. Let me try that again. Found out about him through Game Grumps, and after that kind of splintered away a little bit, I actually found myself more of a JonTron fan than Eagle Raptor. No offense to Eagle Raptor, but JonTron was the guy that I identified with most because he was so dynamic. And now that he's making videos again, I'm following those. But there's an absolute ton of great video content creators and providers out there, and I certainly don't want to step on their toes, especially with my archaic display here in front of my laptop. I'd much rather kind of chime in here and there with some perspective stuff and provide more writing instead, and that's what I'm hoping to do. So I've rattled on for 15 minutes, and I think I should probably stop now. Again, thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to everybody for their support, for your following me on Twitter, which I'm always grateful for, especially as I haven't been as active lately as I want to be. So thanks for sticking by me. Thanks again to Sam for the Sega CD. Thanks to Matt for the copy of NHL 94 on Sega CD, which is coming. I owe you for that one. I'm really looking forward to playing that. And thanks to all the video content producers out there who motivate me to, even if I'm tired like I am now, get in front of the camera and kind of say my piece. If you guys can do it with your full-time jobs and your commitments, then I can certainly take 15 minutes of time and get in front of the camera and kind of catch up with you guys and tell you what's going on. So that's it from here. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Peter Skerritt, PeterSkerritt. You can follow me on Facebook with the same name, or you can check out my consolation blog, which is consolation, consoleation.wordpress.com, and I'll try and update that as much as I can. Have a great October, everybody, and I hope to be back soon.